evening and welcome to the National Night Out 2017 Awards and Appreciation Ceremony. I'd like to at this time recognize some special guests that have joined us this evening. Our Vice Mayor, Leroy Bennett, City Councilman Mike Duman, our Clerk of the Circuit Court, Randy Carter, our Commissioner of the Revenue, Susan Draper, and of course, last but certainly not least, our Fire Chiefs, Cedric Scott with Suffolk Fire and Rescue. Chief, we're thrilled to have you join us. Then also at our front, of course, we've got some special guests that are outlined in the program that you received when you entered this evening's event. So once again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We're delighted that you could join us for this special occasion as we recognize our dedicated community coordinators, our volunteers, and our business partners in their efforts to give crime in Suffolk a going-away party. I'd like to ask Joan Turner to come forward to provide our invocation and to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Joan?
Good evening. Will you bow your heads in prayer, please? Thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for waking us up. Thank you for bringing us here on today. We thank you for allowing August 1st, 2017 to come and now go. We are preparing for next year, 2018. We thank you for these wonderful citizens, civic groups, homeowners associations, and all who have gathered here on today to celebrate such an occasion. We thank you, God, and we honor you and we praise your name. Amen. Will you all stand? And we'll prepare for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. Well, our tradition continues, and there's no doubt about it, no one else in Hampton Roads or Virginia, in fact, throws a party for National Night Out like we do here in Suffolk. This year's event was phenomenal, with literally thousands of citizens coming together across the entire city in what has been our largest celebration to date. None of our successes and 4 first-place national awards would have been possible without the hard work, dedication, and commitment displayed by the countless event organizers and volunteers joining us this evening and who worked tirelessly for months coordinating the celebrations enjoyed by our citizens on August the 1st. To each of you, we say thank you. As observed in recent events, we live in a time and place where across the country there is so much division, but thankfully, here in Suffolk, we stand together in mutual respect and support, not only for one another, but for our public safety heroes who serve and protect us. What I found perhaps most inspiring, especially for this year, was a comment from a youth volunteer who noted after his attendance that evening, "Everyone was so nice, so friendly, and so welcoming. Such a comforting experience in today's world." Again, this was from a youth volunteer that night. What a vision not only for ours, but our nation's future. Make no mistake, it takes concerned citizens like each of you taking ownership of your communities, looking out for your neighbors, and working with our public safety officers. You truly make a difference in the quality of life for all of us. It now gives me great pleasure to welcome our Deputy City Manager, Scott Mills, who will also share his thoughts about National Night Out. Scott.
Thank you, Diana. And it certainly is a pleasure to be here with you this evening, and I certainly welcome you to tonight's ceremony. National Night Out is an annual community building campaign that promotes police community partnerships. And let me emphasize the police community partnerships in neighborhood camaraderie to make our neighborhoods safer, more caring places to live. National Night Out enhances the relationship between neighbors and law enforcement while bringing back a true sense of community. Furthermore, it provides a great opportunity to bring police and neighbors together under positive circumstances. So, again, thank you for participating in this year's event. This year's event was celebrated on Tuesday, August 1st. We saw over 150 communities, civic leads, churches, and businesses partner together to hold cookouts, block parties, and various types of gatherings to say no to crime. Following the opening ceremony to this year's kickoff event, 9 motorcades fanned out across the city to visit participating communities and neighborhoods throughout the city. And again, this was all throughout the community. Due to the hard work of community organizers, Suffolk has placed first in the nation 4 times for a National Night Out and has finished in the top 5 of the nation for 11 straight years, including a second-place finish in 2015 for our population category. And I have no doubt that we'll continue that this year. I'd also like to thank the following members of the 2017 Planning Committee for their hard work and dedication to this event. They included the City of Suffolk Media and Community Relations Department, the Suffolk Police Department, the Suffolk Commonwealth Attorney's Office, Suffolk Crime Line, Suffolk Fire and Rescue, the Suffolk Sheriff's Office, Suffolk Parks and Recreation, Citizens Academy Alumni of Suffolk, and the Western Tidewater Regional Jail. So I certainly thank their hard work in helping organize this year's event. In closing, I thank you, and I hope you enjoy the remainder of the ceremony.
Thank you, Scott. I'd now like to ask Kathy Richards, a dear friend and associated with the Crime Line. Kathy, if you'd come forward, please.
Thank you. I too would like to welcome all of you all here and to thank you for all of the hard work and many hours that you put in to make the event such a success. The Suffolk Crime Line Board partners with National Night Out and to support the activities to stamp out, fight crime. If anyone out there is interested in learning more about Suffolk Crime Line, maybe becoming a board member on the board here in the city of Suffolk, please see me when this is over. I would love to talk with you. And again, I would like to thank you for all that you've done. And now I want to show a snippet of the 2017 National Night Out video of the activities that went on that night. As Kathy said, that was just a snippet. I tell you what, each year it just gets bigger and better. It's just phenomenal, again, to see the support that we have from our community. I think we can definitely agree a great time was had by all. From officers throwing footballs and frisbees with our youth with smiles behind their face paint, children being hoisted up into the cabs of shiny red fire engines to check out all the bells and whistles, seniors sharing memories with the younger generation, mouth-watering summer favorites on the grill, outdoor movies by the pool, and old-fashioned watermelon eating contests, just to name a few.
Young and old alike dancing the night away. These are just a few of the exceptional memories made that evening. Please join me in giving everyone involved a round of applause for your participation. Each year, the number of communities, civic leagues, homeowners associations, churches, fraternal organizations, and businesses coming together to show their support continues to grow, and many of them have actually joined us this evening. We'll be changing our presentation slightly this year, as individual certificates of appreciation will be provided at the reception following this evening's presentation, and we ask that everyone join us in the council conference room just next door to receive your personal certificate and to enjoy additional fellowship with one another. As I call each name, I would ask that all neighborhood or community coordinators, volunteers, or sponsors associated with that event come forward to be recognized, be joined by our Deputy City Manager, Scott Mills, and Major Gerald Bransassy of Suffolk Police Department. Pause for a picture, and then be seated. Gentlemen, if you join us. Just stand. First up is the ACTS Community Church, ACTS Community Church. And we have joining us our youngest member of National Night Out as well. Thank you. Right here. Scott, if you join together with everybody.
I'm going to get on one of the ends. You guys roll up in here. Let's see if we can get this used. Get in the middle.
Betty S. Davis Village. I don't believe their coordinator was able to join us this evening. The Burbage Grant Neighborhood Watch. Our Chick-fil-A restaurants on Main Street and College Drive, and you know they'd like to be with us tonight, but they're too busy handing out those delicious sandwiches. But again, as we saw in the video, they did a phenomenal job this year. The Choice Program. Okay. College Square Friends and Neighbors. Commons at Centerbrook. East Suffolk Gardens Civic League. Mr. Goodman has his own cheering section with us tonight. That's right. It's a community effort. Mr. Goodman, how many years have you all been doing National Night Out now? Ever since it started, that's right. He's one of our National Night Out veterans. How about another round of applause for this group? for this group of seasoned National Night Out veterans. The Greater Oakland and Chuckatuck Civic League, held at and with the assistance of the Chuckatuck Volunteer Fire Department, with the Boy and Girl Scouts, Greater Chuckatuck Historical Foundation, New Community Christian Center Church, Oakland Christian United Church of Christ, Kitty's Beauty Salon, Bethel Lodge Number 7, Triple T Sports Center, Music Makes You Happy, and numerous other sponsors and community organizers. Hall Place Community in Action. I don't believe these folks are with us due to their office hours, but the Hampton Roads Crossing Apartments, the Hampton Roads Crossing Condominium Association, Harbor Breeze Estates Phase 2, Hilton Garden Inn Harborview, additional National Night Out veterans, the Hollywood Jericho Civic League, Vice Mayor, you've been summoned. Thank you. The Huntersville community. The Lake Kennedy Civic League. Come on, everybody associated with Lake Kennedy, get up here. You guys worked hard. The National Night Out at Obacy and Health Fair, including Centera Obacy Hospital with Applewood Farms Homeowners Association, Berkshire Meadows, Burnett's Mill, Hill Point Farms Homeowners Association, Hill Point Woods, Kings Fork Farms Homeowners Association, The Vistas, Lake's Edge, Hill Point Estates, Fairways Crossing, Kensington Park, Kings Landing Apartments, River Bluff, Riverwood, Wexford Downs, Willowbrook, invaluable assistance from Suffolk Public Schools, 7-Eleven, Suffolk Elks and Rurton Clubs, the Joe Bagley VFW, Marine Corps Recruiting Station, Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts, I'm going still, East End Baptist Church, Southside Baptist Church, Riverbend Church, Suffolk Family YMCA, the U.S. Army, Army National Guard, yeah, hoorah, hoorah. Target Corporation, and that was only a handful of the folks involved with this event. There are numerous other sponsoring businesses and other volunteers. Again, one more hand for this group, please. The Orlando Civic League Greater First Baptist New Paul Temple group. Saratoga Philadelphia Civic League, South Suffolk Pleasant Hill Civic Association, The Suffolk Redevelopment and Housing Authority, including the communities of Hoffler, Cypress Manor, Parker Riddick, Colander Bishop, and Corey Park Apartments. Don't believe they could join us this evening. Suffolk Barber and Beauty, consisting of more than 12 downtown businesses. Suffolk Church of God. I wasn't sure if Pastor Burgess could join us this night. We see he's been otherwise engaged. The Suffolk Intercity Athletic Association. The Tynes Spruce Street Communities. The West End Lakeside Civic League. The West Side Civic League, including Boston and Williamstown. And last but certainly not least, the Whaleyville Ruritan Club, joined this year by the Cypress Ruritan Club. Don't believe they're here to join us either. Thank you. I also want to recognize our treasurer, Ron Williams, who joined us. Ron, thank you so much for coming in this evening as well. As you could tell, the list of participating businesses and sponsors is equally as long as the group of communities that joined us this year. Please join me in giving everybody once again a round of applause. We extend special thanks to all of you for the difference you make in your communities and for being such a vital part of what makes Suffolk such a wonderful city. Visiting each of these communities in a motorcade, we've had to expand to 9 different tours this year. We're a group of dedicated citizens who had the difficult task of judging the events based on criteria such as advanced publicity, outside sponsorships, attendance, decorations, scheduled activities, and whether crime prevention was highlighted at the event. Those judges included youth volunteers from the Suffolk Boys and Girls Club, as well as other civic-minded youth in our communities. Additional adult judges included sworn and civilian employees of the Suffolk Police Department, city staff from the Departments of Human Resources, Finance, and our libraries. Many of those folks are either off to college, on vacation, or at athletic team practices, but for those volunteer judges that were able to join us this evening, thank you very much for your support. I'd also like to thank all of the members of the Suffolk National Night Out Committee. I know that our Deputy City Manager recognized those groups earlier, but if those that are with us, and we've got some in different places throughout the room this evening, if they could stand and be recognized. This great group of volunteers have basically worked together for years now. We've become like family, and they're part of the reason why we've been so successful. Now on to the portion of tonight's program we've all been waiting for, the awards for participation for this year's event. First, our honorable mention, Suffolk Barber and Beauty. While we're taking the pictures, I want to tell you just a little bit about this group. Our youth volunteers especially enjoyed this event, noting, and I quote, that the food was miraculous. Don't quite know what that means, but evidently it was pretty good. The crowd was great. It included lots of community members, and the music was excellent. Congratulations, gentlemen. Want to take just a brief break. I understand that our Harbor Breeze Apartments representative have just joined us this evening, and we certainly wanted to give them recognition if you'd come forward. It's interesting to note that not only do we have communities involved, but National Night Out has really branched out to a lot of our apartment complexes, condominium associations, and so forth, and it just shows you that neighbors want to be neighbors no matter where they live. Next is our business. This award goes to the United States Army, including the Army National Guard and Recruiting Center. You come forward. To tell you a little bit about this humble gentleman who I had the pleasure of meeting earlier this summer, these fine folks contributed to the success of National Night Out at OBSE Event and Health Fair by helping to pick up, set up, and take down huge tents, grills, and much more, and provided their ever-popular rock climbing wall for those that were able to join us that night. They're even planning on rearranging their schedules for next summer so that they can come back to assist again. So thank you, folks, for all that you do, not only for our community, but for our nation. Next is our Rookie of the Year Award. This award goes to the Choice Program. And I don't believe, unfortunately, they were able to join us this night. I spoke with them to remind them last evening. But just to give you a little bit of information, this first-time effort consisted of what the judges called dedicated organizers, who attested to the fact that crime actually went down in their communities when they got together to clean up their neighborhood. They had a great age mix and community involvement, and again, a nice job for that group. Our Best Community, second place award goes to the Lake Kennedy Civic League. And I wanted to note that the judges advised that Lake Kennedy embodies everything about National Night Out, friendly and welcoming. They had a great basketball game going on when the motorcade arrived, and everyone enjoyed getting together and having fun. Again, sir, congratulations to you and your group. Our first place Best Community goes to Burbage Grant Neighborhood Watch. As usual, these terrific folks put on another spectacular event. Judges noted a great showing of community and youth, and that there were plenty of activities for everybody to enjoy. One of our youth judges summed up his experience in just one word: excellent. Job well done. The Best Combined Community, second place, the Tynes Spruce Street Communities. Everybody everybody enjoyed the old-fashioned fun and games, the reading table for the youth, basketball and cheerleading competitions complete with trophies, and lots of great food and music. And again, job well done. The first place combined community, the Saratoga Philadelphia Civic League. And I'm sorry Ms. Parrish couldn't join us this evening, but I did want to share that while the community certainly isn't new to National Night Out, their coordinator was, and boy, did she hit the ground running. She actually started planning at the first of the year, had a huge turnout, and judges commented on their cohesive neighborhood, great food and music. They actually went door to door in their neighborhood to invite their fellow neighbors and were truly deserving of this first place recognition. And just in case you were wondering, due to the overwhelming community support, phenomenal attendance, and amazing efforts year after year, we actually had to change our award criteria. This year, we're awarding what will now be officially known as the Official Night Out Grand Finale Site Awards, starting first with the Greater Oakland and Chuckatuck Civic League, and I'd ask that anyone affiliated with that group please stand and join us. Winners now for the last 8 years, starting with their rookie year. Judges commented that this was an excellent event with a great turnout. They wanted their students to start off the school year right, provided a school supply giveaway. Their coordinator also probably said it best when she said, "We work better when we work together." And Opal, I couldn't agree more. This was held at the Chuckatuck Volunteer Fire Department. Guests were treated to delicious food, great entertainment, and lots of children's activities, scout displays, and fun for the entire family. They were supported by a large number of sponsors and neighborhood churches, and the Greater Oakland and Chuckatuck Civic League has proven once again that you certainly know how to throw a party. Thank you again. Another of our grand finale sites was the National Night Out at Obucy Health Fair. And would you folks please join us up front? I about lost my breath earlier when trying to recite to you all the unbelievable number of supporters and sponsors that this group had. Needless to say, they had dedicated community organizers, volunteers, businesses, churches, and get this, more than 100 event sponsors. What can I say? This event was absolutely astonishing. Numbers don't lie, and you're hearing it here this evening for the first time. They served over 1,280 hamburgers, 1,770 hot dogs, and over 629 subs to more than 4,000 hungry, appreciative guests in attendance. Again, certainly one for the record books. The event was on the scale of a mini state fair, including free health screenings courtesy of Centera Obucy Hospital, an abundance of children's activities including bounce houses, puppet shows, movies, and glow-in-the-dark necklaces, games and prizes, live entertainment including 101.7 Real Country's DJ Dan Preston, known throughout coastal Virginia and North Carolina for his morning show, as well as the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts, their Mosaic Steel Orchestra, Kings Fork Marching Band and Cheerleaders, the Peanut City Cloggers, and even a petting zoo. There was truly something for all ages, including exercise and dance demos and much more. And I truly don't know how this event could improve more than you have this year. Again, just a phenomenal effort by everybody. Just also wanted to point out that they also received recognition from the National Association of Town Watch for their events last year. In fact, they were only one of 7 groups in the entire nation recognized for their hard work. So again, just a phenomenal, phenomenal event. And now for our final award, the Spirit Award, given to a person who embodies the spirit of National Night Out and who is given tirelessly to her community. I've witnessed firsthand this person donning a mascot costume in 100-degree heat to shoot a special video. They've also worked for hours preparing videos and public service announcements to showcase their community's National Night Out involvement, attended meetings at all hours of the day and night. A person who came to us by marriage to another one of our dedicated community volunteers. Brittany Hamlin, would you please stand and join us? Brittany is actually the daughter-in-law of Kusi Hamlin, our organizer extraordinaire of the National Night Out event at OBC and Health Fair event. This is truly a family affair with the Hamlins. I think every single family member has worn a mascot costume at one point or another. And we like to laugh and say, for those of us that are involved in our communities, it is a family event because we just corral anybody we can to join us and get involved. And again, you guys have just given so much to our community. Thank you for your efforts. Please welcome back Major Jerry Bransassy now for our closing remarks from the Suffolk Police Department.
Thank you, ma'am. So, first and foremost, thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you. Not only for 3 weeks ago, but for everything that led up to 3 weeks ago, to the big party that happened all over the place, to us not, as I mentioned in my initial presentation, not saying goodbye, but continuing to recognize our constant efforts that the communities do with public safety. So thank you. You guys in this room and everyone else who couldn't be here, a lot of hard work. Whenever I was putting together the schedule, I told Diana, I said, I think we're going to have to go to 9. She said, 9? I said, yeah, I think we're going to have to go to 9. She says, I got to find a vehicle. Okay, we'll find a vehicle. We got to find judges. But we went to 9 this year. And the places that I went were phenomenal participation. It was not just the food and the camaraderie, it was games, it was information, it was giveaways, and it wasn't, a pencil, but it was things like when over at the barber shop, they were giving away diapers and school supplies and those things that were needed in the community. And that was just awesome, the way the community came together for a public safety related party, but looked out for its members at the exact same time. And it was like that in almost every single community. Yeah, we had our hot dogs and hamburgers and everything else, but there was something else that went with it. And that was phenomenal for this year's event, in my opinion. So we've all known Diana for a long time, and I was looking at the program, and she called it closing remarks. And I know she knew this before I got up here, but I can't give closing remarks on National Night Out because this is not a closing. This is a constant thing that has been going on. You guys have already started planning, and we do this every single day. And we see things around us in society, around Suffolk, that's happening, but we look and we say, wow, that's pretty cool. That's not happening here. And why is that? Because our community comes together. Public safety, fire, sheriff, the jail, the police, we're all doing something at the same time almost every single day to make sure we don't have those issues going on in our community. And we all work together, and then here in a couple 49 weeks, we're going to have us another big party. So there is no closing comments. It's just get ready for the next one. Thank you all very much.
Thanks again, Major. And I don't know about you guys, but we might take a few weeks off to rest before we actually get started for next year. But again, Major and our chief and the other public safety officials that the Major recognized, we can't thank you all enough for what you do day in and day out to keep our city safe. I'd also like to mention that following tonight's event, you may want to make your way over to the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts. The Sheriff's Office is actually debuting the filming of the film Chasing the Dragon, which unfortunately emphasizes the issues affecting our nation right now with opioid abuse. So again, that might be something, make your way after our reception, you enjoy some refreshments with us, and then go over and visit the folks at the Cultural Arts Center as well. I'd like to provide our benediction, after which we'll invite everyone to join us at the front of the chamber for a group photo before we join each other for the receipt of our individual certificates, which I mentioned to you earlier, next door in the council conference room. For this evening's benediction, I thought it would be most appropriate to share with you Mayor Linda Johnson's remarks that she provided at the start of last week's City Council meeting when we recognized a moment of silence related to the tragedies in Charlottesville. She shared remarks from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as his words, while spoken 5 decades ago, ring possibly even more true today. Violence never brings permanent peace. It solves no social problem. It merely creates new and more complicated ones. Violence is impractical because it is a descending spiral ending in destruction for all. It is immoral because it seeks to humiliate the opponent rather than win his understanding. It seeks to annihilate rather than convert. Violence is immoral because it thrives on hatred rather than love. It destroys community and makes brotherhood impossible. It leaves society in monologue rather than dialogue. Violence ends up defeating itself. It creates bitterness in the survivors and brutality in the destroyers. Returning violence for violence only multiplies violence, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. We know that there is no place for hate in our Commonwealth, and that the only thing we should hate is hatred itself. Events such as National Night Out truly showcase the amazing relationships that our citizens and law enforcement share in our city, and should certainly give us reason to celebrate all that is truly good and all that brings us together. Once again, thank you for joining us this evening and for being a part of what makes Suffolk so special.
You want to say National Night Out? We can do that as well. You ready? 1,